to say welcome to the second hour of Mind Shifters Radio. Today is Monday, July the 14th, 2025. We're just kind of chit-chatting until Michael gets on. But yeah, looking forward to the intensive in November. We've only done, as far as I can remember, I've only attended one intuitive development, and it was really powerful. No, I guess we did two. We did one at Heartland and one when did an intensive on the beach. It's a very powerful intensive. So we look.
I realized how long a drive it is to get to you. I hadn't looked at the map until last night, and I was thinking about how I was going to break up the time intervals and maybe visit some people. And also, yes, it's winter where I live, so I was trying to calculate whether I'd have snow on the mountain. But I'm in Ohio, and I'll be driving through West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And so it'll be an interesting adventure. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
I'm going to mute me.
Okay. Tammy, how are you doing? Michael's joined us, but he doesn't have his microphone on yet.
I'm doing okay. I'm
good.
Trying to work through more stuff, more tough stuff.
Yeah, it's like once you get to one level and you go to a new level of vitality, then the next level of stuff gets to come up. Yep.
Yeah, and I've been sticking to the nutritarian diet, and
good for you.
You know, just making so many healthy changes that my vitality keeps increasing, and I keep getting all kinds of stuff.
Well, let me offer that. And I was figuring out my time frame. It was about 55 years ago I stepped into and started doing this work. And for me, the most important personal work that I've done has been in the last 2 or 3 years. And I'm feeling like in the last few months, I'm really finally starting to get it.
I know, Michael, that I wish you'd stop saying that, because that means I got another 25 years.
But look at
and you were doing it every day
come.
working.
But look at how far you've come, and look at the plateaus you're going to get to experience.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and listen to shows from 15 years ago or workshops from 25 years ago, it was on and exciting and all of that. And there are just, when you look at what the Webb telescope is now showing us, we thought the universe was large, but now we realize that what we thought was minuscule compared to what they're finding out. And I really believe that we as human beings are designed to be able to comprehend and interact with that. And that's where we're going. And yeah, it's a big task, but every step along the way just gets more enlivening, more delightful. And then the next deeper layer comes up, which oftentimes is the most painful layer because I wasn't able to access it previously. But those deeper, painful layers move so much more quickly and so much more reliably.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's right now though, it's a lot of those 77 times 70s. And I also know that I'm on the right track because this is what a healing crisis looks like for me. And I'm doing the right things, and I just have to go with the flow and stay in the process.
Layer by layer.
So maybe with the other things that I've done recently, maybe it won't take me 50 years.
Well, remember that in that 55 years, I was putting there wasn't anywhere I could turn and say, well, how do you process this? What is this? It took me 35 years to know what, pardon me, I shouldn't say that. I knew what forgiveness was, but to understand how to explain it, to make it sensible for a newbie to say, okay, I have this perfectly wonderful goal and I'm going to cancel it. For 35 years, I couldn't understand that. And of course, in that 35 years, there weren't too many of those really, set what I consider to be sensible goals that I ever canceled because I didn't know why you would do such a silly ass thing. Now I know. Now I understand. So,
Right. So you were
you're not starting,
developing
everybody
it.
isn't starting from scratch now.
Right. That is very true.
And a
Um,
positive aspect, Cami, is that you will never face anything that you don't have the vitality for. So,
right.
if something is in your face, it means that you are able to handle it. And
Right.
because it'll be suppressed, automatic suppress mechanism, it'll stuff it down until you're able to handle it. So if it's in your face, you know that you're able to handle it.
That I really like the way you put that, Jeannie. Because I've always said, God doesn't give us any more than you can handle. But then
Exactly.
I know I've heard this in Michael's words before numerous times, but the way you put it just kind of went, oh,
Chink,
yeah.
chink.
Yeah. Yep. Love the chinks.
Hi,
Cool.
Shawn. Welcome.
Hey there, young man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
We're rocking along.
Nice.
Had an awesome day on the beach yesterday and or on the lake yesterday. And then just before the show, just finished collecting up, asparagus and peppers and tomatoes and getting out of the garden. So
Good.
rocking along.
Get some of that live food.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
For
Any other
sure.
thoughts for you, Cammie?
No, thank you.
No, cool. Thank you. Glad you're here.
Me
Shawn,
too.
anything in particular on your mind?
Just wanted to call in, tell you all hello, and tell you thanks for joining up with us yesterday. I really hope that you guys felt invited and welcomed, and
Did definitely.
not as a no requirement to teach or preach for anybody or anything. Just come and relax and hang out with some people. And so that was the goal anyway. And so we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, cool, cool. For those who haven't met Shawn before, this is one of the gentlemen who's helping to convert the older shows from the MP3 audio files to video files so that they go on to YouTube. So
YouTube.
when you hear
Yep.
Jeannie mention Shawn, this is the face that goes with the name.
Nice.
And Shawn,
Yeah,
I
it is.
must say, this is the first time I've seen your face. We've talked and we've
Really?
texted, but it's the first time I've seen you. And you talked about having grandchildren. You don't look old enough to even have children.
I know. They're here. Hello, Sally. You're welcome. Sally said
Cool.
thank you in the chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the conversions, you know how it happens. Be careful for what you wish for, I guess. So I don't know, a couple years ago now, I had stumbled accidentally across the Why Again website and the Why Again book, which I voraciously read within about a couple hours, I think, telling the wife, "No, it's okay. I'll be there at dinner. Give me 5 more minutes. Give me 10 more minutes." And I read almost the whole thing. And so I was like, wow, this is great. I need to circle back to this and really read it, get into this more. And then I come across the archive section of the website and I said, wow, every month there's thousands of these recordings. Somebody ought to put them on YouTube and get them out. And well, it seems that one way or the other, however it happened, myself and another gentleman, we were invited to go ahead and make that happen. And so, it's a task that it's going to take a while, but that's okay because I can glean nuggets of grace along the way. And so be careful for what you wish for, I guess. God might just use you to do it.
Well, we appreciate you answering the call, and
For sure.
That this is a step in the process of us, which is the next, I think, big thing we'll be doing, is feeding this all into an exclusive AI database that will be based only on this work, on the Aramaic, and
Yes.
all of the material we've developed over the last 50 years are going to funnel everything into it, and then have a university available database. And as I understand, although I'm not sure at this point, I think once we do it in English, then AI will be able to translate it into any language going. So we'll have a database that I think will cover pretty much the planet. And the vision has always been to make this available to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. And I think AI is going to be the key to doing that.
Yeah, and as far as I understand, if I may say, we still are looking for volunteers. Vitally needed. We will pick a spot and put you to work. Jeannie is an excellent teacher for getting the program going, and it is simple. Once you learn it, the basics, just a matter of turning out the work. And I'll, like in the mornings, a lot of mornings, I'll set one to convert, and then I'll go to work. And then in the evening time, I'll come back and I'll run it through the transcriber. And then when that zips together, then I'll upload them, and Jeannie handles the rest. It's like magic.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could easily use 20 volunteers. We could easily, if we had $1 million tomorrow, we could easily spend $1 million to take this all to the next level.
For sure.
As it is, I bought the AI program about 2 years ago, and I haven't opened it yet. I'm actually just now doing a dance with the company to really understand how to use it, because there's just been so much on the plate. So,
YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube University. Yeah, it's awesome.
But if there is anyone out there that it's been on your mind, it's there for a reason. And if you want to just even convert 1 month, I'll even get on and help you with the program. But Jeannie, you'll have to work out some of the logistics for that. But I don't mind showing somebody it. And
Cool.
we would love to have somebody. Sally, I see your comment in there. Get with Jeannie, and we'll see what we can get going.
I sure will. I sure will.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, what else? What was on the agenda for today?
Well, actually, speaking of AI, I was going to share a post that I came across. A woman named, just a second, my screen just jumped. I may get back to it. A woman named Amanda Barnett asked AI, quote, after attending church service yesterday, I curiously asked ChatGPT, quote, if the U.S. was truly built on the teaching of Jesus, what would it look like? What verses in the Bible back that up? Here's what ChatGPT had to say. If the United States were truly built on the teachings of Jesus, not just using Christian language or symbolism, but actually living out his core messages, the country would look radically different in many ways, especially in terms of justice, compassion, economics, and how we treat one another. Here's a vision of what it might look like backed up with scripture. And it's like AI at this point, they're talking about how AI is going to destroy the world. Boy, I read this and it's more Christian than a lot of so-called Christianity. And for me, the reason for saying that is to invite people to look behind what they've been told and really look into what the real work of Yeshua was. How do we achieve reaching the state rather than just talking about it? So here's what AI says it will be. A radical love and inclusion, what it will look like. The country would prioritize loving all people, regardless of race, nationality, religion, or status. Immigration policy, policing, healthcare, and education will be shaped by mercy and equity. Biblical support, love your neighbor as yourself, Matthew 22:39. And then Matthew 5:4, but I say unto you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And then Galatians 3:28, there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, you are all one in Christ. Number 2, economic justice and care for the poor. What it would look like. The poor would be lifted up, not blamed. Workers would be paid fairly, wealth would not be hoarded by a few, and greed would be rejected. Social safety nets would be robust, not stigmatized. Biblical support, sell your possessions and give it to the poor, Luke 12:33. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me, Matthew 25:40. Woe unto you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort, Luke 6:24. And then Luke 4:18 and 19, the Spirit of the Lord is on me to proclaim the good news to the poor, to set the oppressed free. Third, peacemaking over militarism. What would it look like? The nation would pursue peace instead of dominance. Military spending would be redirected toward healing and building. Violence would not be glorified. Biblical support, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God, Matthew 5:9. Put your sword back in its place, for all you who draw the sword will die by the sword, Matthew 26:52. And then Romans 12:17 and 18, do not repay anyone evil for evil, if it is possible, for as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Number 4, humility and servant leadership. What would it look like? Political leaders would serve humbly, not seek power for power's sake. Arrogance and corruption would be rejected. The powerful would use their position to serve, not dominate. Biblical support, Matthew 23:11. The greatest among you must be your servant. Mark 9:35, whoever wants to be first must be last and servant of all. And Mark 10:45, even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. Number 5, truth, integrity, and justice in systems. What would it look like? Courts, elections, media, and institutions would uphold truth, not lies or manipulation. Justice wouldn't favor the rich or connected. Biblical support, Isaiah 5:20, woe unto you who call good evil and evil good. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly, Leviticus 19:15. And then Proverbs 12:22, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Number 6, forgiveness, redemption, second chances. What would it look like? The criminal justice system would be restorative, not punitive. Addiction, poverty, and mistakes would be met with compassion and the opportunity to start again. Biblical support, John 8:7, let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone. And Luke 6:37, forgive and you will be forgiven. Galatians 6:1, if someone is caught in sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. 7, care for the sick and the vulnerable, what it would look like. Healthcare would be seen as a moral priority. The elderly, the disabled, the mentally ill would be treated with dignity and care. Biblical support, Matthew 10:8. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you would fulfill the law of Christ. Number 8, environmental stewardship. What it would look like. The land would be treated as sacred, not as a resource to exploit. Climate justice would be a Christian duty. Biblical support, Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work and take care of it. And Psalms 24:1, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Final thought from AI on this question. If the U.S. were truly built on the teachings of Yeshua, it wouldn't be a Christian theocracy. Yeshua rejected political power in favor of personal transformation and servant leadership. But it would be radically loving, just, and compassionate society that valued people over profit, humility over pride, peace over violence, and mercy over judgment. Looks like AA got it faster than people who spent decades in church.
I have a comment.
Go for it.
And I am in a dentist's office, not the guy dentist, but the dentist's office. So if you hear music or something, let me know. But so those are all symptoms. AI described, it was very good at describing the symptoms
Absolutely.
or the results of, should we say, right
Forgiveness.
living. Right. So, and I jotted a note down. I was listening for it, and it unfortunately it did not describe where you get the power from to do that, what the motivation is for a person to act in that way. And that's, unfortunately, I've identified that's what a lot of ministers have done through the Dark Ages. In a way, it's kind of Catholicism 2.0, and of course, I'm not attacking anyone's religion or beliefs, but those are the counter symptoms. So it does have a lot. It can spit out scripture, but where's the power? Where's the ability that allows the human brain to do these things, not as routine or rote, but because it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
And that would be my challenge to AI. It could be a good start. Those are things that you will find. I guess it's like it says, those would be the fruits of the spirit.
Right.
If there was right living. And with that, I think that's Michael's cue. And we actually might have to go soon. So the wife just got out of the dentist. So I
okay.
already had mine done, but I didn't want to miss the show.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you joined us, and I'm with you 100%. And as we talked the other day, the skill of the future is going to be how to create a query for AI
Right.
to get out of it, to milk out of it. And of course, the question wasn't asked, and how is that result produced? But then all we have to do to say to people is, and if you're in intensive, you haven't been in an intensive yet, but when somebody says, "How do I do this?" I always have a 4x8 whiteboard, and I turn and I write on the board all of the above in just huge letters, because that's what it takes. It's every tool that we're working to bring forward. It's how the results are produced. So
another amazing thought I had, actually. So if you look at some of the great teachers, some of the gurus, if you will, or whatever, healers, spiritual ministers, whatever you want to call them, they'll say, you'll ask a question and they'll tell you no over and over. They'll tell you no, whatever it is, until you realize for yourself the answer is actually yes. And then you, of course, you leave the healer alone, or the minister, the guru alone, and you're able to go off for yourself and live your own life. And so may we not get in the trap of relying on the AI God either, but use it properly as a tool to assist us and help us. And so I really hope that we are able to get everything uploaded to it for the Why Again ministry, for mind shifters and shift some minds. Because there are some things that need shifted around.
absolutely, that's for sure. And the only real teacher, somebody once broke the word guru down into its initials, GURU. The real teacher, the only teacher, and even Yeshua said, "Hey, deny me. Don't call me perfect. None of us is perfect. Right. But there's one in you that I came to connect you with. That's what you want to do, is make that connection." And of course, what do you do to do that? Well, first of all, you got to move the garbage out of the way, and that's where the forgiveness process comes in. I've dedicated so many years to it, because if people don't have that technology, and most of the world is still stuck in backward technology, that forgiveness is about being forgiven and about letting other people off the hook, rather than going inside of ourselves and cleaning up the mess.
It's a different way of thinking, but once you see it, you have it. There's no denying it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, hope your wife's dentist visit was easy and gentle.
It was.
Turn your camera back around again.
There you go.
Hi.
Jeannie says hi. So you have your own fan club. There you go. There's Jeannie.
Well, hey there, young lady. Delight to meet you.
Michael says, delighted to meet you. Nice to meet you all. So we'll have her on again sometime.
All right, have a
So
blessed one.
busy day. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Shawn. Appreciate all you're
Bye-bye.
doing.
For sure.
Thanks.
Yay. So does that resonate anything for anybody? Anybody have a thought for us? Push that mute button. Say hello. What's on your mind?
Along the lines of what Shawn was saying, when we do an intensive and on one side of the board, we write, the descriptors of the newborn, which is always, miracle, love, amazing, precious, pure, all of that. And then on the other side of the board, the things that you felt when you did something you regret, which is usually anger and fear and hostility and whatever. And we've talked before about, people can do the list of the side that describes love, but if they're just doing and they're not being, if it's not coming from their being, there is a difference in that.
Yes.
They can know in their head, this is how I'm supposed to act and this is what I'm supposed to do. But if they're not coming from within, then, it's what they say, it's like a tinkling cymbal.
Right.
I mean, even some of the disciples, or some of the people that came to Yeshua and they said, have we not, cast out demons in your name, and have we not healed people and done all this? And he says, depart from me, I never knew you. They were doing, but they weren't doing from being.
Doing from being, yes. The doing is necessary. It's part of the process. But there's a quote. Actually, it was attributed the first time I saw it to Liam Neeson. But I did some research, and it was actually, he posted on his page, but it was from a Bosnian writer named Mesa Selimovic. And here's what she wrote. Everyone says love hurts, but that is not true. Loneliness hurts. Rejection hurts. Losing someone hurts. Oops, a second, my page skipped. Envy hurts. Everyone gets these things confused with love. But in reality, love is the only thing in the world that heals all pain and makes someone feel wonderful again. Love is the only thing in the world that does not hurt. I thought that was a pretty cool piece for Liam Neeson to have posted. So how is everybody? What's on your mind? Anything exciting in your world? Not everybody at once, please.
Just to say, this is Susan over here. Hearing that summary, the AI summary, there's got to be a way that we just without just stating the fact. That's what AI says. Wouldn't that be a cool thing to put on Facebook or something?
I did it. I just read it off my Facebook page. It was the woman.
Did?
The page isn't in front of me right now, but the woman who posted it, I acknowledged her for posting it. She's the one who, it came from her Facebook page.
Oh,
actually,
my God.
a friend of ours posted it from her Facebook page, and then I copied it and reposted it. But it's like, hey, folks.
Yeah. Well,
it's
and
time.
as you said, the tools, that's how you do it. You add a PS to that thing and just say, hey, you want to know how to do this? What Shawn said? This is how you do it.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. How amazing. Well, the questions I have are really not appropriate for the radio show. They're all about Epstein files and, what is going on? It's as if everything that we all know is unacceptable becomes acceptable under this particular set of circumstances. Or what is it? I don't even know why it is that one whole set of insanity things is passing. We get the New York Times, my husband and I, and the Times is making an effort now to report, but they're afraid. I'm sure all the main medias are under a thumb and they're afraid. And then my son's wife's parents, who are lovely people, they only watch one news station. You know what it is, and
FAUX.
Yeah, we can. That's right. We can't talk to them. We don't go near that. We talk about being in our 80s. We talk about old age, dying, ailments, and the kids and everything that's important. But that is not allowed. No side wants to go near that.
Yep.
Why is that?
Well, I'll offer this. You remember we watched recently the movie I Can Only Imagine.
Yeah.
And we watched one young man and one father, a father who was in horrific pain,
Right.
impose his pain upon his son.
Yeah.
And his son took it on as his own and lived out of it until it looks like he was probably in his 40s before he finally started to make resolution. Now, I would just about guarantee, knowing how the work works and such, that I'll guarantee that neither that young man's father nor that young man are yet living the idyllic, happy, life is wonderful, because that trauma still needs to be worked out. Now, when you look at the fact that this is like coming up close to an American standard of behavior. Look at the last 50 years. Look at the abuse. Look at the child abuse. Look at the broken homes. Look at the murder record. Look at how many kids, 10, 11, 12 run away from home. 14, 15, 16 are getting married to get out of an abusive household. And so my offering is that if we looked at the history of the man who's the figurehead of this whole game right now, is that was the life he lived. That was what he was given.
Yeah.
And he has no filter on his rage or his vengeance, and he's given people permission.
Yeah.
So my take would be the folks you're talking about, without mentioning any names, have that in their history. And if you open that door, then you will become the object of that rage and that unresolved pain.
Yeah.
And so, the countless numbers of families, mothers and children, don't talk to each other anymore. I'm surprised. I'm amazed at the support that this kind of viciousness. One of the big, commentators, female commentators, wrote just recently, "We didn't kill enough Indians."
Oh my God.
I mean, that was her post. And this is a top name right-wing, figurehead out there. Another one, well, we've got, talking about the alligator, Alcatraz. We will have 63 million meals for the alligators. This is a top right-wing commentator, female. And 63 million is about the number of Hispanics in this country.
Yeah.
Said we'll have 63 million meals for alligators now. What kind of pain is in a person's mind to even be able to conceive of that thought?
Yeah.
So what do we need? We need to recognize that if we hold the pain that is triggered by that conversation, we need to be responsible for our pain, work through it, so that we get to the point where the actual energetic field of active present love is powerful enough that through resonance, it overrides the resonance of that pain and unresolved pain and trauma that has been going on for many people for generations and generations and generations. I mean, if we look at that story, I Can Only Imagine, and what that kid went through, that's mild compared to a lot of what we know has happened in this country.
Yeah.
and the countries that people came from before, they came here, and the atrocities that were done to the people that were already here. So my take is each of us has to handle whatever of that is in us so that we can be that space. That line in the worksheet that I can, it was the first lesson we taught 40 years ago in a school that we started in South Florida called Lessons in Living, in a Unity school there in Delray Beach. And it was, when I choose love, it wakes up the love in everyone.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't take much. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe one act will cause an immediate, I have an example, but will cause an immediate reaction and bring out the love in another. But then there's a kind of a way that it doesn't stick. I'm thinking about 3 boys. I was taking the groceries to the refugee center, and I pull into an alley behind my church. And usually on Mondays, there's nobody there. So there's a lot of loading in to be done. I prop the door open and I start emptying the trunk of my car inside the alley door. 3
Right.
boys come walking along and they look like tough guys. And I said, guys, I could really use some help. And they said, oh, sure. They immediately wanted to help. So they brought the stuff down the stairs. I had some cash with me and gave them $10 between the 3 of them. It was quite a load in. And they were punching each other and me in the shoulder saying, have a great day. This was great. Thank you so much. We really don't need to take this money. It was a great moment, but I'm wondering, there's a rubber band effect or something, because will they feel good all afternoon? Will they change their lives? I don't know. Right then, it was like we were all in heaven together. Nothing but heaven.
The community of love, yes.
Yeah.
And that may be the event that changes those 3. And maybe those 3 young men's lives didn't need to be changed, but it might be the event that changed their lives, that they'll remember, that they'll look back on it, they'll think about forever.
Who knows? But
I remember one of those in my life.
Do you? What?
I have one I go back to. I don't even remember what age I was, but it was very early. My father worked triple time. He was always at work. He was a company man. So I can remember having a dream when I was, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. And there was a bay at the foot of our street, a large bay, and across the bay was the factory that he worked at.
Oh, yeah.
And this dream that I had was of this monster. I can see it in my mind still today. This monster, like a huge hand, coming over the bay and taking my father away.
Whoa.
And there was a neighbor up the street. His name was Bill. He was 3 or 4 doors up the street, and he had a shop. And he would invite me into his shop and he'd teach me woodwork. He would just be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that sticks in my mind. And today, actually, a post showed up. Our granddaughter goes to St. Anne's School here. It's a Catholic school, but it's a Catholic school without the dogma and the doctrine. About 40% of the students in this school are not Catholics. It's like the most respected school in the city. Mm-hmm. And one of the teachers did a short. It just happened to show up on my Facebook page this morning. And he's a guy who's been teaching in the school for 22 years. And he said, we've tried technology. We've been trying to, it makes things easier, and you can do this and you can do that. And you can do that. And he said, I quit. There's going to be no more technology in my classroom. Next year, he said, I'm starting something new, because here's what I discovered with these kids. Presence is more important than learning. And that's what he said. Technology's out of my classroom. Presence is what it's about. And that sounds like exactly what you gave those kids. That's exactly what this gentleman did for me as a kid. And I think that was, one of the grounding points of my life that really helped me to move in the direction of doing what I'm doing. So you never know. You never know when that gift.
Story.
Well, my whole body tingles as I think of it because it was just such a gift, you know? It's just,
Yeah.
phew.
God, that's so amazing. I can think of another story. I mean, we could go on forever. We've probably all had have stories like that sort of like stepping stones going over a brook or something. You just
Yes.
jump from one block to the next, and they get you across. There's a lot of swirling water between, but those provide the stepping stones to being okay. And even though
Yes.
there are, lots of snags in life, why are we here? Because we had those stones to step on.
Well, since Ari was 2, Jeannie would ask me the question. You've heard me say this many times, but for those who perhaps haven't, who are on the show or who will listen to it in the future, since Ari was 2, Jeannie would ask me the question, Papa, why are we here? And I would respond, to be love.
Yeah.
And then I'd say to Ari, or to Jeannie, Nini, Ari calls Jeannie, Nini, why are we here? And she'd say, to be loved. Well, you ask Aria why we're here, and she's real clear. She knows it exactly, and Lincoln's getting it too. So
Yeah.
I think every action that we do, every move that we make, and the places where we were in the kind of pain that we saw in that movie, I can only imagine,
Yeah.
are the places where we need to go back and do the work and clean it up. And it's going to happen one person at a time, one forgiveness process at a time, one moment of presence at a time.
Mm.
The Course in Miracles says, over and over again, choose once again. Choose once again.
So many thoughts. It looks as if in the government situation, if it's going to continue going the way it's going with the Epstein files, it sounds as if the MAGA folks are splitting apart because some of them really want the information and they feel gypped. They're not getting it. And the end result looks like a massive punishment for the head person, which is just what he's been angling for, which is part of his illness, which is part of our social sickness. Wouldn't it be great if we could do something else that would wake him up so that he'd realize there's another way and he could choose differently? And the response might be huge because he is powerful in his terrible weakness and illness.
Yep.
So powerful.
Critical mass. Critical mass. I look back to the early days of doing this work, being on the road, and, I'd be talking about this kind of stuff, and people look at me kind of cross-eyed, like, this guy's really lost it. He's really off his rocker.
You were
but,
too woo-woo.
But now, in later years, and I'm way further out than I was in those early days, it doesn't matter where I am. Rarely doesn't somebody at least say, well, tell me more about that. I mean, the odd one says you're still nuts, but most people at least tell me more about that. What does that mean?
Yeah. And it's a temptation to feel as if we're not doing it quickly enough and well enough to save ourselves. And that is fear.
Another power person dynamic.
Yeah.
To be forgiven. How did it feel when your power person wanted you to do everything more quickly and more perfectly?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Next worksheet. Yeah. So joining you in doing that and being the space.
Oh, wow.
And taking time every day to cultivate that presence within. Really taking time rather than being on the number one drug of the culture. I'm too busy. To make the time, to take the time to be in that quiet space and to connect with that presence.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
That's what it's all about, Alfie. Anyone else have any other thoughts to add to that, to share the conversation?
Well, I will share. Thank you, Susan, for your input. As soon as you said about worksheets on when your powered person wanted you to do things faster and more perfectly, oh my goodness.
You
I
haven't been
thought
there,
of,
done that, have you?
oh my gosh. All right. I thought of probably 50 worksheets. Oh, I could barely breathe into it. But anyway, I'm grateful to be alive and not have to be as perfect as I used to be or have to be.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. I'm outside and there's people around.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it is beautiful. It really is. I'm
So if we were in
outside
intensive, I
as
would
much
probably at
as
this
I
moment,
can be.
yeah, I'd probably hand you the retired perfectionist hat, which is one of the ugliest hats I can find. I
Oh
hand it to
good.
people and it's okay. So
Oh
here we go.
please. Oh good. Can't wait. I will wear it
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
fits.
And the if we just observe ourselves, observe our words, observe the behavior prompts inside of us, and where there's disturbance or upset, 99.99999% of the time, at least, if I just look at how did it feel when my power person did that to me, I'm in touch with a power person dynamic that I need to forgive. And that's the core. I mean, that literally, my take is that literally is what runs the whole world, that power person dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Got it.
with having registered for the codependence intensive, or pardon me, for the intuitive development intensive, you have the codependence intensive coming up. And August 3rd, Susan is going to start. She's in a silent retreat right now, so we're not going to see her for the next couple of weeks, but she's going to start and go through that. I hope you'll participate in that and support that. It'll be powerful.
I absolutely plan to be there.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts for you?
Oh, I was thinking about how it would be at a silent retreat right now, and I was thinking that sounds kind of yummy. Oh, let's see. Anything else? Not right now. I was amazed at the AI reading and Shawn's insight about that it was pointing out conditions very accurately. And that was just a really nice discussion around that because I have no thoughts about AI at this point. I'm just watching. And so when I've heard various people that I love and respect use AI in functional ways, I've been amazed. And I have to proceed with caution because, the limits of a robot are clear.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, for me, there's another whole aspect of this, and that is that most people, all of their lives, have been run by AI.
Mm-hmm. I would agree that more and
What
more. Yes.
what the scriptures describe as the mind of man is AI. Nothing different. It's going on for thousands of years on the planet. We didn't need computers to do it. All we needed was a database from the past that you put in a query. They're saying the really highest paid skill in the future, one of them is going to be the ability to create the right query for AI to get the information out of it that you want. And all that means is you got to be good at setting goals for AI. Now, people have been doing that for thousands of years. They have a database in their mind, genetic from the past. They set goals, they put a query into AI, and the mind produces a structure, a construct out of the past, pretends it's the present, and most people are living out of an AI picture in their minds that they think is actually the world, and it's not. They're living in a hologram that is an overlay to the actuality the creator created. And to me, the whole objective of forgiveness is to remove the AI aspect from our lives and actually live in the actuality the creator created for us, rather than all of the unresolved dramas and traumas and even gifts and wonders from the past generations. reality in the human mind is an AI created structure. That's all it is. When you cancel a query, a goal, the structure from the mind collapses in on itself. That is, it drops into one's own unconscious. And now I've accomplished the thing that Carl Jung said, when he says, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it will direct our lives and we'll call it fate. When I cancel a goal, I get to drop into the data bank that AI sources my realities from. I get to go in there directly as active present love and dissolve what's in error. And so now I'm changing the generational AI database, which means I get whole new realities. Instead of, in order to survive, I need to drug myself. In order to survive, I thrive. I'm alive. I'm human. The true being that I am shows up in my physiology, rather than my physiology has all these generational patterns stored in it that just play out time after time after time after time. And I say, why is this happening to me again? Or usually it'll be a little different. They'll say, why are they doing this to me again? So that, to me, is what Yeshua came along 2,000 years ago and gave us tools for, is how to overcome living out of AI and actually have a human life.
That's so cool. It's so big and it's so amazing. And, it resonates in me, things I've been thinking since I was really little. And
we all know it.
Yeah, the thoughts that I remember my dad would be investing in the stock market. And I would say, how do you trust that thing? Like, I don't get it. And he would say, well, it's based on a whole bunch of data from the past and projections. And I'm like, that's trustworthy? And it's just been many, many times when I would be in disagreement with my father power person because it didn't resonate with truth for me.
No.
Various things. Yeah.
A question I ask. Go ahead.
Like, why do we have churches? Like, they seem to create problems. Like, when one faith says, I have the truth and the only truth and the only way, that's just limited thinking.
No.
There were so many things just as a really young person that made my life a bit of a lone feeling at times. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I think, it's a question that I've asked for many years, people. How many remember when you knew it was supposed to be different than this? And virtually everybody remembers. And then when I ask them, and what do you remember knowing it was about? They all say the same thing. It was about love. It was about being human. It wasn't about this crap of making money and having power and sex, and all the garbage that goes on. It was about functioning as a human being. And the world has buried that in us.
Yes.
So collapsing AI is the name of the game. Our own personal AI.
Right, our personal AI. You're right. I agree.
Cool. Well, we're down to the last minute, so I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy your walk. Looks like, are you out in a park, Sally?
I am in a beautiful park.
True. Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, enjoy it. And everybody, create the best year yet of your eternal life. If this show is meaningful to you, pass it on.